With great power comes great responsibility. Apparently, those are the words that influencers and online bartenders should keep in mind when sharing cocktails. Today's episode is a testament to that. First we'll make the Batanga, easily the most trendy tequila cocktail of 2024. Then I'll show you my version of it, as a shaken cocktail made with DIY Cola Cordial. A lot of interesting things today, including a special brand new cocktail calculator that I've been planning on doing for a long time, the Cordial Calculator. So since we have so much to cover, let's get started. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and turn on the bell icon to get notified every week when it's cocktail time.
It's cocktail time!
If you're a friend of cocktails, you've probably seen today's cocktail pop up last year on Instagram, YouTube or TikTok during what was called the Batanga Week.
The Batanga.
This is going to be the cocktail of 2024. Let's make a Batanga.
This is a Charo Negro.
Batanga.
2024 is the year of the Batanga. Oh, you didn't know that?
These cocktail creators were invited to Mexico and bonded over Batangas, even going to its birthplace, the legendary La Capilla, in the city of Tequila. This is also where Don Javier Delgado created the Paloma. Long story short, once they got back home, they had a little fun and decided amongst themselves to all post videos with the hashtag Batanga Week. And it actually worked. In bars, media outlets and even liquor stores, Batanga was everywhere. The cocktail world hasn't seen a hoax like this since the time of Tom Collins. That's why it was also dubbed the cocktail of 2024. Let's see how it holds up in 2025. With a simple mix of tequila, lime, coke and a salt rim, it's easy to see why it has other names as well, like the Mexican Cuba Libre or the Dirty Paloma. We start by cutting the lime in half and rimming the outside of the glass with lime and salt. Then fill the glass with ice. Squeeze in the juice of half a lime and pour in your favorite Blanco tequila. As you can see, this is being done cantina style. No jiggers, just measure it with your heart. Top it up with Coca-Cola, Mexican of course, if you can get it. And for the final touch, I'll also add in a pinch of salt. The important final step is to stir the drink with the knife you used to cut the lime. It's how Don Javier did it from the start. Salute to the legend. Refreshing, vibrant, zesty. The Batanga. This has been popular for decades in Mexico, and it was a global hit in 2024. But I wanted to try and create a recipe that would bring it to the next level for 2025. Here's what you'll need. The base will still be Magenta, and it's additive-free Blanco tequila. The Cordial, which I'll show you how to make in a second, will give us the sweetness, acidity, and of course, plenty of cola flavor. We'll add in a small piece of lime peel and saline solution, and that will be the Batanga Sour. But first we need to make the Cola Cordial. To concentrate the flavors of cola, I'll use cryo-concentration. It's a technique often used by Ian McPherson at Edinburgh's Panda & Sons, and you've seen it on the channel to ripen the flavors of melon, strawberry and pineapple juices. But here, this step will actually be optional, so you can make this recipe even without freezing away part of the water in the cola. That will of course mean you'll need to adjust the amount of other ingredients, which is where the Cocktail Time Cordial Calculator comes in. This will not only help you get the amounts right, no matter how much of the cordial you want to end up with or what the sweetness level of your cola is, but it also follows my very own formula for making amazing cordials. It took me a lot of time to get the formula just right, and now it will be available to all tiers of Cocktail Time patrons, as a thank you for your support. Link to the calculator is in the description. To make the cordial, you'll need some scales, the classic kitchen scale and the precision one for the acids. Magnetic stirrer is optional but very useful. And if you'll be following along with the cryo-concentrated option, you'll need a refractometer. I'll link all of these below. To make the Cola Cordial, I'll be using Coca-Cola, sugar and acids, citric and malic. So we'll end up with a nicely balanced cocktail. If you still have any bottles of Kevin Cola, you can of course use that for an even more unique twist. Start by emptying 2 cans of cola into a container. I'm going with 330 ml or 11-ounce cans, but as mentioned, the calculator will help you get the right amounts, even if you start with more or less. Before we place this in the freezer, we can check the sweetness level with our refractometer. Just make sure the cola is completely without bubbles. I'm getting 11 bricks, so if you'll be skipping the freeze concentration, you can use this value for your recipe, but you'll end up with less flavorful cordial. We'll then place this in the freezer and leave it overnight so it freezes completely. Before we start with melting off the concentrated cola, we'll want to know how much of the frozen cola we're working with. Place your bowl on the scale first. Wait, then place all the frozen cola on the strainer. Write down the amount you ended up with. For me, it was 660 grams. That's important because you are aiming to let just 1/4 of the total weight melt. As your cola melts, make sure to check the weight you have in the bowl as you go. You need the weight of the bowl plus a quarter of the total weight of the frozen cola. Once you're there, you'll have a concentrated cola, with full of flavor and with more sweetness and acidity. And once that's at room temperature, we can check the sweetness level once again. It's now at 27 brix, which is still below the 30 brix level I'm aiming for with my cordials. That's 30 grams of sugar in 100 grams of solution. So it's time to open the cordial calculator on kevincos.com and enter the brix level and amount of the liquid we have. It will tell us how much sugar and acids are needed for that perfect cordial. In our case, I'll add 7 grams of sugar, 2.84 grams of citric acid and 1.42 grams of malic acid. If you'll be using the same proportions as me, you don't need the refractometer. You don't need the magnetic stirrer either, but it's a really handy tool when it comes to mixing things together. Once that's done, it's time to bottle and label our Cola Cordial. Again, if you need more or less of the cordial, it's easy to scale it with a calculator. It has an intense cola flavor, and it will balance our cocktail, which in my opinion is the key for a good cordial. Let me know what other cordials you'd like to see covered in the future. But now, let's make the ultimate Batanga, the Batanga Sour. Same as before, start with prepping the glass. Add a salt rim and place a clear ice spear into the glass, so the ice tempers and doesn't crack when we pour the cocktail over. Then once your shaker is chilled as well, add 2 ounces or 60 ml of Blanco tequila of choice. Next, the star of the day, 1 1/4 ounce or 37.5 ml of our Cola Cordial for the sweet and sour components of the cocktail. For that extra lime kick from the essential oils, I'll also throw in a small circle of lime peel, organic of course, for what's known as the regal shake. And to boost all of the flavors, salt in the form of saline solution. Instead of drops, I'm adding a whole dash this time. Add plenty of ice and shake hard. Keep the knives away for this one. Safety first. Double strain over the clear ice spear, and that's it. Refreshing, sour and tequila forward, where the cola supports the drink with its signature spices and flavors. A modern twist on the Batanga that's perfect for 2025. With that we reached the bottom of the glass, where today we asked the question, why was the Batanga such a hit in 2024? Alongside the fact that it's an easy to make cocktail with familiar, crowd-pleasing flavors. The trend actually started thanks to a very important factor, camaraderie that's built when you share cocktails, stories and experiences. That's something that is highlighted in today's recommended treat, Drinking Distilled by Jeffrey Morgenthaler. It's a light-hearted but insightful guide to drinking well, filled with practical tips, humor and insight for enjoying cocktails and good company. To enjoy your time with friends with another cocktail from Don Javier, the Paloma, check out this video. Until next time, cheers, friends of cocktails.